Welcome in, everybody, to the Bourbon Buzzed and Ballin podcast. We are your hosts, Kolby and Dut, and it's time to rate that shit. We have a Michter's on the bar today, and this is what we're going to rate tonight.
That's right. We did the small batch sour mash last week.
And it was good.
It was very good.
Yeah.
It was a unique flavor, had a strong apple taste to it. So this week, we're going to go with the small batch Kentucky straight bourbon from Michter. This is kind of their entry bourbon, but it is a little stronger than the one we tasted last week.
Yeah.
Remember, it was like 86 proof, I believe.
Right.
This one's 91.4.
And this one's readily available.
Yeah, you can.
It is for us.
Yeah,
I would assume most everybody else.
I would assume if we can easily find it on the shelves in North Carolina, that every other place can get
Because I know the sour mash isn't allocated.
It's hard to find. Yes, it is.
And I did have an edit to last because I told you I think I paid 72.
Right. Yeah.
And in fact I did.
Right. So that's good because it was worth 70, but that was probably what $20 over MSRP. So,
right.
So yeah, at least you didn't.
Well, that's what's good about Southern Spirits down in Indian Land, just south of Charlotte. You know, their prices are really good. I mean, they're very fair on all their prices, even on their allocated bourbons. Mm-hmm. They're very good.
Okay. Well, you want to give everybody our rating system, and then
Sure.
we'll go right into the Michters.
Yeah, for those of you watching, you can see our rating system behind me. If you're listening, we have a rating system 1 through 4. 1 is, to us, we call that a brown bag. That is pretty much our bottom of the barrel, so to speak. You know, I think in the end, our end result, our end goal, I guess, for our rate that shit is to either get you to not spend money or get you to spend money based on our opinion. We hope to save you money if we don't like it. So 1 is a brown bag. 2, it's getting a little bit better, but that might be like a stock bourbon. We call that a mixer. For us, that would be like a Woodford Reserve. That's a good stock bourbon that we can throw some Coke in there, make it into your old fashioned or whatever.
Yep.
Number 3, getting really good, might be higher in proof. We call that on the rocks. And last but not least, the way that Kolby and I like to drink our bourbon, that's neat. And that's the way we think every bourbon ought to be drank, at least the first time.
Yeah, that's you just took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say at least that first couple of sips. Don't go by just that first sip because you're going to get a lot of that burn, that Kentucky hug. So get that sip out of the way, then give it a second sip, swirl it around your tongue a little bit, then swallow it. Then if it doesn't sit right with you, then you could add a couple drops of water to it. You can throw rocks in there. Last night I decided to go with Whistle Pig because I'd never had it before, and I've always heard great things about it, but I'm not a rye drinker.
Right.
But they didn't really have a real good selection at the restaurant I was at, so I said, you know what? Bring me a Whistle Pig. She said, you want it neat? You want a cube with that? I said, bring it to me neat and bring me a cube on the side, and that way if I don't like it, I'll just toss it over into that cube and dilute it down a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, so I always, when I'm trying out a new one, I'm always going to get it neat. And then if I don't like it neat, chances are I'm not going to get it again.
Right.
But I didn't use the.
Well, I mean,
I didn't use the cube.
To me, that's the benchmark. I mean, if you can drink it neat, and if the profile is good neat, then I think the profile is going to be good no matter how you decide to drink it.
Right. All right, so you finished that, right? You got us all the way through neat.
Got you all the way
through neat. All right, so in case anybody didn't watch last week's episode, I'll go over a little bit of the background on Michter's. It's distilled in Louisville, Kentucky. It was established in 1753, and they've got a U.S. Star 1 on their label because they consider themselves the first American whiskey company. So that's what that stands for. All right, so the one we've got today, like I mentioned, it's the small batch Kentucky straight bourbon. It's made to basically, when they say small batch, they basically want to be able to fill 20 barrels. So 20 barrels, that's it. Then they move on to a new batch. Retails for about $49. So it's just under that $50 mark. The mash is 79% corn, 11% rye, and 10% wheat. I mentioned earlier it's 91.4 proof. They don't make an age statement, but rumor has it it's aged around 4 years so that it can be called bourbon.
Right.
The aroma you're going to get is oak, corn, and raisin. Okay. I do get some raisin.
I get a little bit of that oaky sweetness. Yeah.
And there again, we like to drink out of a Glencairn glass because it focuses all those aromas to your nose by the shape of the glass.
Got good color too. I like it. Looks aged. It looks aged longer than 4 years, but the color can be misleading.
Well, a lot of it also has to do with demand nowadays. With the uptick in bourbon drinkers, a lot of the distilleries can't take them to 6 years and 7 years like they would prefer. So that's why they don't make an age statement. So if they need to get barrels and bottles on the shelves quicker, they bust them out at 4 years. So that's why they won't make that statement.
Gotcha.
That way they're not held to it. But yeah, we like to swirl it around and wake up the notes. Now your taste should be caramel, vanilla, and oak, which is, that's kind of a typical bourbon theme.
Yeah.
That you're going to get some vanilla, you're going to get some caramel, you're going to get,
Yeah,
obviously you're going to get oak because it's all aged in American white oak barrels.
Vanilla spices off the barrel, the vanilla spices that come out. Yeah,
That's a little spicier than I thought it was going to be.
It definitely has a little heat to it.
Yeah, it does.
A little heat to it.
I wasn't quite expecting that.
Yeah, you know what I think when I didn't get anything out of the ordinary taste, like last week
that apple jumping out at you.
That apple really jumps. This one, it's more to me it's more tannic, it's more dry. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like I'm getting a lot more oak.
Yeah.
I get a lot of oak and I get that burn from the rye.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think because this has got the rye and not the barley.
Yeah.
That's why it's getting a little bit more of that little spice to it.
Yeah. It's a pleasant bourbon, though. It's a pleasant bourbon. But I didn't get a lot of complexity from it. Not a lot of different notes.
Right.
On the front end, it was real oaky and spicy, and then I got some heat. And on the back end, it finished with the hug and some heat, and a little vanilla spice from the barrel is all I got out of that. I really didn't know fruitiness. Doesn't have a sweet smell to it to me. I'm ready to roll on a.
I don't like it as much as I like last week's.
Absolutely not. Absolutely, it's nowhere near as good as that sour mash.
And I think I'm actually going to knock it down a notch because of that.
Me too.
I'm gonna rate it a 2.
I'm gonna rate it a 2 as well. Okay. We're on the same page.
Yeah.
That to me is a good standard mixer, but
I think it would be good. Put it in a barrel. Age it a little bit more in your own personal barrel. Maybe add a couple of different ingredients to it to alter that taste a little bit.
For the price point, I would definitely I think I could put 10 bourbons on this bar that I would purchase in front of this one at $50.
And I was going back through because after each show I've got a running list of what we've rated a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. And we have yet to rate anything a 3 or 4 that wasn't at least $50. Which surprised me.
I think I rated. Didn't we do the Coopers?
Let me go back.
Have we not done the Coopers on the show? Coopers. We hadn't done BT.
Actually, no, it wasn't. I'm sorry, it wasn't a 3 or 4. It was just a 4.
I got you.
We haven't found a 4 yet.
All right. Well, that's good. That means we're getting better at our.
But yes, we did. We have
sure.
had. Well, even last week was under 50. The sour mash retail price. I know you paid over 50.
Right. Not much over 50 though. What I tell you, I paid
53.
52.99.
Yeah. No, we actually have had some. Actually, the Cooper's Craft was under $30.
Yeah, Cooper's Craft is beautiful. I mean, I would buy the Cooper's Craft 10 out of 10 times over this one.
Well, you know, probably what we should do is do a special edition of Rate That Shit and kind of give our selections at each price point of what we would recommend.
Let's do that. Let's compile a list.
Okay.
Because for me, $49 is kind of now that's my like bottom entry level.
Yeah.
It's changed dramatically. Like I don't even think twice about a $50 bottle of bourbon.
I mean, that's
anymore.
kind of what you expect to pay.
Exactly.
For a good bottle of bourbon is going to start at $50.
Like if you want a bourbon with complexity, if you want bourbon with different flavor profile notes, you gotta pay to play.
Yeah.
And so I try not to do it that way, but it's the way bourbon is gone. And I see the prices now starting to like level off a little bit, like the secondary market.
Right.
The prices of bourbon are beginning to level off, and which is a good thing. Not good if you're an investor, but it's a good thing for us that aren't necessarily buying bourbon to turn a profit.
Right.
You want to start seeing them secondary markets level off. So this one to me is a little disappointing for the price. For $50, I wouldn't put anybody onto this one.
No, I mean, Old Forester. I'll go out and buy any of the Old Forester before I buy that.
Buffalo Trace, if you can get your hand on it 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
I mean, golly, we definitely need to make a show and start putting in some price points and some recommendations.
Right. Yeah, especially because we're getting viewers out there and listeners out there that are new to bourbon.
Right.
And they want suggestions. What should I start with? How should I start out drinking it? So I think it'd be good to do a show like that and say, okay, if your budget's $20, this is what you buy. Mm-hmm. If your budget's $30, this is what you buy. If your budget's $40, this is what you buy. So, I think that'd be a good show to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a good bourbon. I mean, but to me, it was like just it was just like you said at the beginning, it just tastes like bourbon.
Yeah,
like it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain that.
There was nothing special about it.
Complex about it.
Yeah, there was nothing special about it, and definitely, I mean, I'd rather drink a Maker's Mark. Or a Woodford, and both of those are cheaper, $10, $15 cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, of course, that's my personal taste.
Well, this is your show.
All right, well, that pretty much ends this show.
That's it.
So, a little disappointed in the Michter small batch. We only rated it a 2. If you get a chance to get that sour mash, grab a bottle of that.
Absolutely.
That one's definitely worth it.
We give that our stamp of approval for sure.
But this one, I just wasn't nothing special about it.
I was going to say that in my review. Yeah.
So,
sweet.
So yeah.
We appreciate it. Appreciate you tuning in.
Absolutely.
Look for this portion of the show to drop on Wednesday.
No. The Rate That Shit I put up on Friday.
I don't even know my own show.
the sports talk part of it we put up on Wednesday, and then
all right. See, I didn't even know what the hell we're doing.
And then we put the Rate That Shit up on Friday. Kind of break it up a little bit, so because the 2 parts together can run anywhere from an hour to hour and a half, so kind of time consuming, so we split it up into 2.
Y'all in your busy schedules, we had to break it up to make it easier on listeners.
Yeah, but
we had some listener recommendations on that. Hey, you got good content.
Right,
we like your stuff, but man, you guys talk too much. It's too long. So we broke it up.
That's right. We're listening to you, so the only way we're gonna know is if you follow, like, and share us on our socials. We're on all the socials: Instagram, TikTok, @Bourbon Buzzed and Ballin'. Then we got an email address on
Bourbon Buzz and Ballin PR at gmail.com.
And then
And our YouTube channel.
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You know, we're everywhere. So
Yeah,
tune
we're out
in,
there.
follow, like, and share. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about or want to see us drink, and we'll put it on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well,
Thanks for tuning in.
yeah. Till next week. Cheers.
Cheers.